Okay, everyone. I am just now getting started. You guys, let me know how my audio's doing. Seems like there was a little bit of a audio thing going on. So, give me an audio check to let me know if you guys can hear me okay, and we will get started. So, once I get that thumbs up, there's about a 20-second delay. So, from what I say, we got 20 seconds. Hopefully you guys are having a good Saturday morning. It's not too weather's not too great here, but it is it's doable. Okay, cool. Sounds like my audio is doing good. We don't have an echo or anything like that, hopefully. Let me just check one thing real quick just to make sure. There we go. Sorry guys, I'm just double checking this audio thing. For some reason this program sometimes pops up and just does different this has the audio settings just off. It just changes it for some reason. I'm using this OBS Studio to do the screen sharing. Okay. I should have that all set up now. Alright, so hopefully my audio still sounds good. I'm going to get started. If you guys are new to the live stream, I know there's several of you that are just reoccurring here, but anybody that's new, I try to do these every Saturday. I don't get to them every Saturday, but I try to get to them, and usually we'll kind of do a weekly wrap up, kind of go through where the week ended off, and then I use the time to go through, charts that you guys want me to look at, stocks you're interested in, and and then sorry guys, and then we'll just wrap up. So I usually run for about an hour. We just, again, just look at all these charts and trade ideas. Hopefully we find some new trade ideas for the week. I'm always looking for new setups, new good ideas, new trades. I've got a couple that I'll point out today of trade setups. Not necessarily actionable ideas yet, but definitely setups to watch. So I'll try to go through those. And then we'll wrap up. So, all right, guys. So usually I'll just start off on the top. I do want to talk a little bit about the Fed and kind of what's going on. So we're in, right now it seems like we're in kind of a quiet period. The market rallied on Friday, Thursday. It really started on Thursday, and then continued on Friday. So again, I try to put out the context of where I'm, what I'm doing, and in my videos I try to get it out as quickly as possible. On Thursday I told you guys that it looked like we were probably going to bottom, and I was looking for a long trade, kind of pointed out those key levels. Friday we got confirmation on a lot of that stuff. I added to some of the long trade early Friday morning, and so far so good. Very profitable day to the long side. That's some of the best things, and I really love it when I can catch a trade to the downside and then recognize when it's about to change, and then catch it to the upside. And it just shows that I'm kind of on it. And again, I'm not always on the trades. Sometimes I get them wrong. That's 100% going to be guaranteed. Okay, I can't guarantee really anything, but I can guarantee 100% that I'm going to get some things wrong. So that's kind of key, is to recognize when you're wrong. And some of that comes with intuition and just experience. Some of that comes with just understanding your skill set and knowing how to read the charts and just sticking to your trade plan. And then just cutting the loss, being able to take losses sometimes when you're long is really hard for new traders, new investors. They essentially always want to be right. They just want to enter a trade and then just be right. Here's the psychology of a kind of a new amateur trader. Basically, they want to be right from the exact moment they enter the trade. So they enter. If they start taking on any losses, they'll cut the trade sometimes, or more often what happens is they dig in their heels and they say, well, I'm in it for the long run. So a lot of the time someone will take a trade thinking something's going to do something. You know, let's say you think a stock's going to go up. Most amateur traders are going to go long. So they buy a stock thinking it's going to go up, and then it goes down, and they basically do dollar cost averaging, or double, you know, they continue to add to a losing trade. That's something that is pretty much just a big no-no. You know, don't ever add to a losing trade, with a caveat. Okay, one, you know, if you have a losing trade but it's technically still working and you've got levels to key off of, let's say you have like a back test, you break down and you're back testing. Okay, you can add on the back test, but then, you know, at that point you really don't want to add too much, and you want to manage it. Okay, as long as the trade is still intact and the levels are still there, you can add, and because your technical setup still works. But, you know, at some point you gotta be able to stop out and know when you're wrong too. So, but a lot of amateur traders, what they'll do, they don't have technical levels, so something will just stop working, and then they'll just dollar cost average, adding to it without any technical setup. And then, you know, eventually they just get locked into losses, and they just turn their focus on the long term, hoping time bails them out. Which, in a bull market, time will bail you out. Okay, if you're in a bull market, you know, you can buy at the highs, and over time you get bailed out. Looking at like the SPY, I mean, if you go into this one and I look at the daily chart here, I mean, when you're in a bull market, heck, you can buy right here at the top of the COVID crash, right, a 35% drop down, and you get bailed out. And of course, this was, you know, Fed induced, but you get bailed out and you start profiting. So it makes you think you're invincible, basically, because you can buy at any time, and basically in a short order you're profitable. So that's how that works in a bull market. But in a bear market, if you buy at the wrong time, those losses are not typically, you know, you're gonna be stuck in losses for, you know, years essentially. A true bear market doesn't last, you know, 1 month, 6 months. A real bear market typically will last multiple years. And depending on the severity of the bear market, can last a lot longer. You know, you look at something like the Japanese Nikkei, their bear market from 89 has lasted this entire time, 30 years or so. And nothing says that we can't do that exact same thing. You know, there's not a real difference. The only difference is that we have the reserve currency, so it allows the Fed to bail us out. But that's only if the Fed can bail us out. All right. Right now, the Fed doesn't have that ability, so we could easily have that same situation. Okay, so that's something I want to talk about. All right. So that's the point. I think, again, I'm just going to reiterate my longer term view. All right. And by longer term, I'm just talking about, you know, at least the end of this year and probably next year. I think we're in a bear market. Okay. If I see something change, if I start to see something different, then I'll let you guys know. But as of right now, I'm still treating the longer term charts and the trades as I want to sell the rip. But bear markets have really impulsive rallies. Go back and look at the last bear market. We'll look at Qs, because it's the one that really moves a lot better. We haven't had a bear market in the Qs since 2007. And look, you get like this first leg down here. This is from high to low, drop of 25%. Okay, so you go up to where we're at now, and like you could say maybe this was the first leg. We dropped 21%, had a first bear market rally, dropped another percentage. Okay, and you know, is that the bottom? I don't think so. Could be, but I don't think so. But from high to low, we've dropped about 30% or so. And these rallies can be almost equally as strong. You know, here's a rally here in this one. This rallied up 25%. You know, just that little, you know, rip right there. That's a 25% rally. Doesn't look like much because I'm using log scaling, but again, percentages don't lie. This is about 28%. Here's the 2000 bust, and you'll see these rallies here. I mean, here's one right here, right there, from low up to high, 32%. Okay, here's another one from low to high, 55%. These are all rallies within a bear market. All right, 58%, massive rallies. Okay, so, and even this one right here, this first initial drop, and we rallied up 63%. So, yeah, we could see something like that. You know, we could see a 50% rally now. Let's mark that out and kind of figure out where that would go. You know, from low to high, the low is right down in here. Yeah, we haven't dropped enough, I think, to get a 50% rally. Otherwise, we probably, you know, we wouldn't be in a bear market. To make all-time new highs, you basically say you're not in a bear market. That is possible, you know. I could be wrong that we're not in a bear market, but I think we're in a bear market, and I can show you guys why. But so I don't know. I've pointed out some key levels where I think we're likely to rally to. Right now, I'm targeting that 318. It's right here on triple Qs. That's the first target. Could go farther, but for now, we're just going to target that. And things that make me think we are in a bear market is charts like this, Amazon. All right, look at that. I just don't see you going into a bull market when you got Amazon doing this. Here's your bull market in Amazon, topping pattern, boom. First leg down in a bear market. Okay, so it's charts like these. And there's lots of charts like these. I mean, so we're you know, again, this Amazon's the first one to do that, but I think the other things will end up looking like this where they're breaking their trend. And all right, guys, so enough rambling. I'm going to get into the charts. You guys just try to keep your comments to 1 or 2 picks, and I will get into it. And guys, if you're new, or if you've been with me for a while, if you've been making money on these trades, I would suggest taking the course. Okay, it's a good course. You know, it's in the format where I can break out each concept into videos out. You know, I break each concept out into its own video to go through every single concept, and then I kind of put it together at the end. And I there's a checklist there that you can use to kind of, you know, run that checklist when you're evaluating a trade setup and a trade idea, just to make sure you have everything you need. That will put the probability in your favor. Everything in this game is about putting probabilities in your favor. So there's no guarantees. It's just, okay, let's put the probabilities highly in our favor. Let's take the position, take the trade, and then let's manage risk. Let's know exactly when we're wrong, and let's know when we're right, okay? And let's know when to take our money off the table and take the profit. So it's all a structured setup. It's all a very structured, robotic thing, basically. But it's, you know, I'm building a trade plan for you guys in that course and teaching you why trades, you know, what to look for. So if you haven't taken it, I highly suggest it. It's well worth the money. All right. All right, let's go into the first one. CCL. This is what, Carnival Cruise Lines. All right, let me just take a look here. Yeah, so it looks like I have this bull flag pattern from before. I got to get down to the daily though. Looks like a bull flag to me. It's a downtrend right now. We haven't broken out. So like a bull flag, you don't want to take. It's a pretty big pattern to say it's a bull flag, to be honest. So I'm probably going to just have to throw that concept of this being a bull flag out. What I'd rather just say is, okay, we had an uptrend. We've now clearly started a downtrend. This is the downtrend to watch. Bullish divergence on the RSI. Let me look at the PPO. Not quite there on the PPO. Looks like that was kind of taken out. At support, look at that little whip below. All right, see that whip below? I teach this in my course, you know, but when you see breakdowns of key levels and then they recover it, false breakdown, bear trap. So that should be good for a bounce, all right? That should be good for, you know, it's a bear trap that was set. So you should bounce as shorts. People who shorted on this breakdown are covering and exiting. All right. Other than that, you're in a downtrend. So I would look to short at resistance. I would look to short on the next breakdown. You've already had one bear trap, so the next breakdown is probably the real deal. But here's the thing. It's probably not going to break down from this. It's in a downtrend. It's probably just going to rock this downtrend and continue down, okay? Otherwise, if you get the breakout, you know, then that would be probably a bullish setup, depending on if you have divergence. If you break bullish and you have negative divergence, usually it's not something I like to take. But other than that, you're probably due for a bounce. Where does it bounce to? You know, I don't know. It could go all the way to the top of this range. You know, you might want to look for the mid. A lot of the time that you take these points and kind of chop it in half, something like this, and you just line up kind of these halfway marks, and you can get some reactions there. See that? See how you have like this cluster right here, and there's a reaction, little cluster there, there's a reaction, cluster. See that? This happens a lot of the time because everybody's looking for the top of the range and people step in early and things like that. So maybe a bounce up to there, maybe up to that, you know, 16-ish level. That might be where this thing goes. But again, it could go to the top. So downtrend, potential bounce within this larger downtrend coming. All right, PayPal. Hey, vascular surgery, thanks for that super chat. I do appreciate those. That's encouraging. Thank you. And I'll try to see if you have a pick you want me to look at. TLT trade. Okay, I'll get to that one next. All right, PayPal. So let's see here. Let's go to the weekly because I know we've. So bear market, guys, on PayPal. All right, this is your bull trend going off 2016. PayPal IPO'd back here in 15. Bull trend, pretty much a complete collapse. This is log scaling too. You know, if I move it to non-log scaling, I mean, look at that. You know, like to the blind eye, someone who's looking at like CNBC or Yahoo Finance and looking at a line chart in linear scaling, it just looks like a complete crash, and it is, but you know. And so support right there, I've had that marked off. Good support right there. This is a weekly chart, so good support, 72.30. Probably due for a bounce, guys. Let me look here and see what we got. If I go to the hourly, yeah, see, so on the hourly, you've got this downtrend, not super well defined, but clean enough. You gapped up, so that's an impulsive move. The gap up, telling me, oh, buy signal. You know, that's basically what that is. So should go higher. Looks like there's there's a little bit of resistance right there, and that's probably where we're going in the short term, 82.30. And we're, and then we have this potential downtrend line. Let me see if I can run this out. Yeah, there we go. Let's get rid of that one. And then, so the downtrend line, yeah, that's decent. See that? You've got, and I don't think it probably goes much further. No, but basically right there. So that could be a target up to that trend line there on a rally. First level of resistance, clearly 82.30. Probably get a 1 or 2 day pullback from there. That might even be the end of the rally. It's really hard to say. One way I like to do it sometimes is, as you hit these levels, you take some off, all right? Lock in profit. But we could trade up to here. This is decent resistance right in this zone, right in there. 93.50. And maybe this trend line, all right? So that would be another target. Those are two targets that I would look for. I'd say that's probably likely if you're going to get some, a decent rally that lasts more than just a couple days, then that's probably pretty likely. From where we're at now, that's a move up of 18%, and from the lows, and think about the shorts, that you 18% from right here, that's great. But think about someone who was short, who didn't cover, they are already, you know, giving back profit of 9%, and up to here they're giving back 30%. I don't want to give up 30% of a profitable trade, so, you know. That's what I got on PayPal. Bullish divergence on the daily. I've got that clean and clear bullish divergence on the daily. So usually daily divergence is good for, you know, for a stronger rally than just hourly. Unless you get some sort of impulsive. We could have a rope-a-dope on Monday. There could be a big gap down. We don't know. All right. All we can do is trade what we see. So and then react. But big daily divergence, so that's I think it's probably good for up there. That's what I would think. All right, moving on. All right, vascular. Let me get to that TLT trade. You know, anybody that does a super chat, I do try to, you know, give them a little preference just for the appreciation. TLT. Well, you know, so I closed my TLT trade when I closed my shorts. The TLT trade was a little bit of a rush to safety. But here's the thing you could look at, which, you know, maybe we are back testing. All right, we rallied pretty impulsively, maybe coming in for a back test. You might hit the trend line, hold, and then rally. So, you know, what that means is we just back test for, you know, a little while, and the market rallies pretty impulsively, because a bear market rally can be very impulsive. It can be very sharp and quick. So maybe we do that. This kind of just holds in this area while the market rallies up to those levels, and then it reverses and sells off again, and then bonds rally. I don't know. That's kind of what it kind of seems like it could be. Otherwise, if you break back down in bonds, you start to sell off, then, you know, this was a bull trap. I did get out of the position when I closed out my shorts. I had a good profit on it. I loaded up on these things when I saw that they were starting to rally, and so I needed to take some of that off. And but again, the technical setup is still the potential back test and then a rally, so nothing's really wrong with it. Maybe I'll even add back to it. You know, could even add back to the position if we get a full back test. I'll have to evaluate that, but I'm not against that. All right, and then, you know, bullish divergence was intact here on the RSI, and let me zoom in on the PPO. Pretty much there on the PPO as well. So, you know, bullish divergence, this downtrend, it's probably good for more to the upside, to be honest. And the target, I think, on this is probably right up here, 124.50. All right, so I'm not in it now. I might, if I can, you know, if it wants to dip a little bit lower, then maybe I'll grab it. It does make me question the long trade a little bit to see that bonds you know, they're still kind of hanging in there, and they have the potential to rally more, because they likely would rally if the market is continuing to sell off. So I don't know. Again, I think the likely scenario is just grind around for a little bit. Excuse me. While the market rallies, and then the market starts to sell off, and then these will rally. All right, moving on, guys. XLRE. Try to speed it up just a little bit so I can get through a lot of these. Guys, we got 93 viewers. I got 50 likes. Drop me a like. I appreciate it, man. I'm giving you guys some time on my Saturday. All I ask is a little button click. I think that's a fair trade. And let's see here. XLRE. Is this real estate? That's what this one is, I think. Investment trusts. Yeah, real estate. Yeah. Let's see here. I don't know why I don't have this one marked up. I could have sworn I was looking at it. Let me just give me a second to kind of dial it in. Here. Yeah, I'm going to go with that. All right. Support, support, support. They stepped in early there. Here was a bear trap, so see they break it, and you're, oh, broke support. Probably came with bullish divergence. Again, these are things I tell you to look for. Look at that. See that? So this is all in my course, and if you have this as a skill set, it'll pop out a lot quicker. Your mind will jump to, okay, what do I look for next? All right, and that's kind of the key that, you know, and if you've taken the course, rewatch it. You know, if you're not, again, this comes with, you know, repetition. All right, but see, there's some bullish divergence, and it's there on the PPO, just barely. So you got the breakdown with bullish divergence, high probability it was a fake out. The next day, it looks like they gapped it down, and buyer stepped right in and smashed it up, so bear trap. Then you got a big impulsive rally. Now this one, this breakdown likely came with negative divergence, all right? So let's look. All right, so I don't know if it did, but, you know, it's likely. Yeah, it's there, I can see it. See the RSI right here, just slight negative divergence right there. Okay, let me zoom back out. So that high made a high here, a new higher high, negative divergence. All right, and there it is on the PPO. So then you break trend, and that's a more believable breakdown. For one, much more impulsive. You know, this break here, you kind of barely broke. This break, look at the size of that candle, and at one point it was way down here. All right, so much more impulsive. See the volume again. This I talk about volume in my course. This is important. See the volume right there. All right, breakdown here, low volume. Breakdown here, spiky volume. All right, so that is we've put the probabilities in our favor on this breakdown, and this is just a quick lesson basically. But breakdown, backtest, fail. All right, so bear market, all right, bear chart, bearish trend. Sell the rips. That's what I see. And so where's the rip? Nah, you know, there's the obvious level right there. Anything, you know, that's probably it. I wouldn't press my luck much higher than that, but 44, 50-ish, you know, and you want to step in a little early, you know. If I was going to short this, I'd probably look to short it at 44.29. If it breaks above, you could add if you get the full back test. That is possible. Sometimes they do that, but yeah, that's what I see. Okay, hopefully that helps. Moving on. Netflix, guys. So I'm long Netflix. I forget the size of position that I went in. I know. Yeah, I took half my trade off on Friday. So on Netflix, again, I started to buy it on Thursday, I believe, and then had a huge rip. I took half the trade. I was pretty heavy in it, so I still have a good sized position on it, but I took half off. Again, I like to lock in profit when I can, and we were hitting some levels, so we ran up to this resistance level right here at 186.17. Little bit of an overshoot, but again, pretty strong momentum, so I maybe we get a pullback here down to potentially down to here 175.40. I don't think it would go much lower. I wouldn't look for much lower, but obviously there is the potential. There is the potential to back test and then rally. Okay, we got to keep an eye out for that as well. That's why I took half off, but maybe you pull back down to here. Maybe the momentum's strong and we just, boom, spike right up to the next level, 204. Either way, I've got a decent position on it, so I'll be happy either way. 204, next level of resistance there. All right, that's decent resistance. And, you know, if I had to really guess, I think we probably do that. All right, for risk management, I needed to take half off. All right, because, you know, we need to. This is an endurance game, but I've still got risk. And if I had to put, you know, if I had to guess, I'd say here. Then you maybe get a little bit of a pullback, probably to the halfway point, and then break above, and go to gap entry. All right. Will I, you know, gap entry here? Do I want to wait for gap fill? It might happen. It just depends on the nature of this rally, guys. Look, you know, we have to see. It could happen. Gap fill will be a level though where you should get a reaction here at 245. If you enter the gap, you're probably going to enter backtest and then run up towards the gap, but I wouldn't wait for the full gap fill. I would cover ahead if you get that. All right, so that's kind of what I'm thinking for the zigs and zags, and I don't know how it will play out, but I'm just trying to speculate on things that we might look for. All right. I don't see anything indicating that we're not going higher, okay? And this one was really smashed, so it should go higher. BA. Let me look at this Boeing. I mean, Boeing's been in a bear market since 2019. And you just, you know, here's your COVID, or this is the, yeah, COVID drop, and they had all kinds of issues. I saw some documentary on them. It was kind of crazy. So there's your downtrend. It's it's not even hitting the trend line. We probably need to almost adjust this trend line. Something like that. There we go. Look how much better that is. That fits better. Something right in, yeah, we'll just say right there. See, look at, now I got all the reactions. There's one, there's one, there's one, there's one. There's one, there's one. And they stepped in early. And then all right, so collapsing. Probably due for a rally, but let's look. So you got some support right here. We just hit support right in here. All right, so as far as I can tell, support, and there's some support, and then we just hit it again right here, bounced off of that support. Let's go to the hourly, see what we got going on. Bullish divergence on the hourly. All right, so that's area of support. I wouldn't short until we break that support, you know, and that's a profit target. I would take profit on a short right there. If you haven't done so, you're not too far off, but I think it's the area, you know, or, you know, if you get another dip down, take profit. If I was short this thing, I would exit it. All right, because I think it's likely we're going to get a rally. Where's this one go? I can't make that cleanly, so I'd go here. We don't really have the full breakout yet on that one, but I like this trend line here on the hourly. Okay, so you actually don't have a buy signal quite yet, but boom, boom, boom. They, you know, made it look like it, but it failed, and it just closed right on the trend line. You get a gap up, that's a buy signal. Okay, so that's all I'd look for. Gap up on Boeing, that's a buy signal. That's you know, that would tell you that we're gonna rally a little bit. Otherwise, you know, if you're short, I guess you could wait for that gap up. You do have to give back a little bit, but don't technically have a sell signal yet. All right, so we could come down to there, could even break. All right, moving on. I went through TLT, ADSK. All right, guys. I'm just continuing to scan here. Hopefully, I'm just working my way down the list, so I will get to your stock, you know, I promise. Just keep your picks to 1 or 2. I will get to it. If you want to jump ahead, you can drop me a super chat. It's not required. It's appreciated. But it's really more just the gesture. You know, it's encouraging on the channel to see that you guys are finding value out of the channel. You know, at the end of the day, I started this channel because I just needed an outlet to get all my stock thoughts out to, you know, to people, so that I don't end up just talking about it all day, every day in my regular life. You know, some of this stuff, it just kind of consumes you, and, you know, you have to be involved in it in order to be on point. But give my wife a break. And so hopefully you guys are getting value out of it, and you're finding that what I'm saying makes sense. I don't always get it, you know, I'm not always right, but I do try to make a logical case. You know, it's plausible. My arguments are always plausible, but not guaranteed to be true, right? If you take in logic, there's a difference between like true and plausibility. All right, boom. There's resistance, 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 support, 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 bullish divergence. What is this one? ADST. Okay, this is interesting for a long. Bullish divergence, no breakout, no buy signal. Okay, you need that. Earnings coming up, so you know, we'll see. But looks like a long setup, not a long trade yet, but definitely a setup. Look for a gap up or you know a break of that. What is this one? Autodesk. Yeah, this one's one of those like tech stocks that's really been murdered out. Actually, it's not too bad to be honest. Interesting. This must be a strong company. Who knows? Maybe this is more of a large cap stock. I'm not familiar with what this company does. It doesn't really matter. Again, bear market rally though, guys. That's the general theme here. This one, you know, I don't know. I have to almost mark it there. Yeah. The general theme is bear market rally. So if you get the breakout, you're probably going to back test up here. All right. And then that's the weekly chart. So it could take a couple weeks. Looking at the daily, the back test is right up there. You might find there's one level of potential resistance, right? It's right, right in there. Again, I don't count my trend lines exact. I could be off slightly, but you know, usually I'm pretty close. 223.30. Okay, so maybe if you break, you probably run right up to there, get a little bit of consolidation or a slight pullback, and then run up and back test. All right, so that's what I'd look for. If you're going to break out, you could probably take the long for you know these levels, and then if you're late to the party and by the time you notice that you're up here, I wouldn't touch it. I just wait to short the thing up here on a back test. That's the better trade. You know, anytime you're right in the middle of two levels, yeah, there's no trade there. But yeah, that's how I treat that. It'll likely get rejected up there. It's interesting. Let me add this one to my list because I kind of like it for a long. If I can, let's see, what's going on? There we go. All right. All right, moving on, guys. Hopefully I'm not going too slow for you. Bros, Dutch Brothers. Yeah, I don't see anything here. There's nothing. There's not enough history here, guys. No opinion. It gapped way down. I can't give it. I just leave it alone. You know, is what I would do. If if you want to be a long-term investor and whatever, but this isn't about that. You know, I'm not trying to give you guys long-term investing advice. This is trading and technicals, and there's just nothing there for me to work off of. All right, moving down the list. Someone asked me if it's a good time to start investing in Qs for the long term. No, I wouldn't do that. I mean, look. I've made my case. I think we're in a bear market. I think we're going to bear market rally. So investing for the long term, guys, I could be wrong. We could continue the bull market. But look, Amazon's a huge component of Qs, and I just showed you that Amazon is in a bear trend. All right. So like, if you don't believe this, then just, do what you want, because I don't know. Like I said, probably going to get a rally. So if you're investing, you're probably going to feel right. You'll be like, oh, I made the right choice. That was the bottom. That's what a bear market rally does, guys. It tricks the longs, keeps them in their trade. The investors don't get out because they get these rallies that basically reinforce that, oh, I'm going to get my money back. Let's just a little bit more and I get my money back. Once they start to get their money back, or if they do, then, or get close. Okay, I'm not going to sell now. We're actually I'm going to start making money. And then boom, the bottom falls out and you get the next leg lower. And they kept them in the trade. So I think we go here in Amazon and then continue the bear market, which should pull Qs down. All right, that's it. That's all I think on that one. IBM. This one's interesting because it's got this wedge pattern that I've marked out on IBM. You've got this isometrical triangle, and this is a weekly chart. So big pattern here, and we're just pinching within this triangle. So this This pattern's a 50-50 pattern, so it can break either way. There's no real indication by probability's sake which way it breaks. You know, it's the weekly chart, but you know, you break up, probably bullish. You break down, probably bearish. And look for whipsaws too. So what I would look for, you break up, is there divergence? You break down, is there divergence? If not, then you probably got the right move. Looking at the daily though, for me, there's just no trade. You know, we're too close to the wedge. I mean, you know, and we're right in the middle. So for me, there's nothing there until I see something outside of that. All right, FCX, Freeport McMoran. Copper and gold company, but mostly copper. Gold's like a byproduct of mining copper. When I was 19, I worked in an open pit copper mine for a summer, building a big piece of prototype mining machinery. And it was for a company called Phelps Dodge in Arizona. Freeport McMoran bought Phelps Dodge. And they just have massive trucks, and they turn mountains into valleys, moving massive amounts of dirt to get copper. So they're big operations. On this one, so bull market, you know, from what I can tell, this is just going to the inflation commodity trade. So the commodity trade looks like it started a new bull market, and this one looks like it started a new bull market as well. That's bigger picture, okay? You've got this downtrend line. This was a big long bear market from 2011, very consistent with the other commodities. Nice solid breakout, probably going to come in for a back test, or at least some sort of a pullback. Okay, so that goes into the nature of what I think the longer term picture is. The Fed's trying to walk the market down to ease off the inflation trade a little bit, but they're not going to be able to stop it. So you ease it back a little bit, and then it rages on. Looking at the daily chart here, negative divergence on the RSI, negative divergence on the PPO. So there it is. And then, you know, this was kind of a trend line here to watch. See how there were like multiple days trying to hold that and broke. When it broke, it gapped down too. Gap down and impulsive. So that's a sell signal there for sure. Down she goes. Take out the 200. I don't know where the bottom is on this thing. Maybe here. You know, do we come all the way down for a back test? It is completely possible, okay, that you come all the way down for a back test of this long-term trend line. All right, that might take a while, but we could do that. And if we do that, that's a golden buying opportunity. The reason why I'm saying that it's possible is if you look at like gold, this is also kind of the commodity trade. And look, you've got you've got this breakout. Now gold's starting to break down. We'll see what happens here. Yeah, I'm a little suspect that it's going to continue to break, but we'll see. But gold broke out here on the weekly chart, and it took months, but finally it's come in for a back test as well. So Freeport could do it. I don't know. You know, I'd probably want to buy long down here, 30, 20. All right. And, you know, look for divergence and stuff, but I probably want to buy down there for a bounce. And then if you take that out, you stop out because then you're likely going lower. Next level, and this level is not as good. This is a minor level, 2385, and then you got the back test. All right. Okay, guys, moving on. Just trying to get through all these. I'm working my way through. All right, I'm just kind of scanning these. IBM, we got through that one. I'm just at the top of the list, guys. So again, I'm gonna have to just start skipping a couple if I've already covered them or if I cover them in my daily videos. KGC. What is this one? Is this a home builder? Oh, this is a gold miner, yeah. At support, all right. So I noticed this one. Here's your weekly chart. So weekly chart, you've got support, support, third reaction now. So that's a good trend line to look at. And just hit it, held it, you know. We've got bullish divergence on the PPO on the weekly. Not fully confirmed yet, but we have it. On the RSI, let me zoom in and see. Yeah, they kind of took it out there on the RSI. Not encouraging on the RSI. It's still there on the PPO, but this is pointed down, so it could take it out. We're at support on the weekly, so going to the daily chart here, you can see we held. Earnings is out of the way. Held support. Two little brief wicks down below. Kind of stop raids there, and they recovered. So, and then the other thing is, let me get rid of this one. But the other thing is you've got this downtrend channel that this thing's been in. See the channel? And we just hit the top of the channel recently, flush down to the bottom. So it's dual support. We got support on this downward channel. We got longer term support, good support down here. So we should hold. We don't have to, but I think we will. It's not likely we're going to see a drop like this and then just break. It took a lot of sellers just to get it down here. So, I mean, that's a drop of, what, 35% in a pretty quick period of time. So that's kind of a buy zone, I would say. That's a buying opportunity as far as I can tell. No divergences, okay? So maybe what we'll do is knock out a bottom. Maybe what we do is kind of get a little bounce, then break down, kind of hit, you know, pop down, make a slightly lower low, but it'll put in divergence, and it'll have divergence, and we'll build a bottom with divergence, and then off she goes. I don't know. If I had to put money on it, I would say we should hold down at these prices, down this $4 area, and continue higher. But we could rally and then come down. We should hold it, though. If we don't, then, you know what to do. Wheat from unknown user. So wheat's been pretty strong for sure. Wheat's kind of part of this war trade. It's I'm not in it, but bigger picture, we're in a bull market. We should probably come down at some point to this bull trend. That's where I want to buy it at. I'm not really interested in buying this unless I can get down to this bull trend. So your bull trend's down here. So if we get maybe it's going to pop up, make a new higher high, which would be a divergent high, and then plummet down. This is the buy zone for me. I'm not interested in, I'm not interested until I can get that buy zone. And that's a daily chart. B2 gold backtest is over. BTG. Let's look. Yeah, I think so. I have a position in this. I'm long this. And I added to it a little bit. These miners, they're really volatile. So what I like to do is kind of just like build a position. I'll just add a little, and I just kind of look across the miners, and as they're hitting their support levels, I just kind of, okay, I'm going to add a little here, add a little there. As long as they can hold those technicals and our setup's good, then we'll have a good position. And again, this is what I talk about, like adding to a losing trade. We're holding this trend line here. All right, you can see resistance, support, little brief undercut, false breakdown, bear trap, stop raid, whatever you want to call it, recovery. Now we got to take out the 200 as the next challenge, but I like it, and looking at the RSI, if I can grab the right tool, they kind of took out the divergences, so I don't know. Maybe we're going to rally and build a divergence, I don't know. I still like it in that area. I think it still is decent. Still holding support. AMD. Should be a bear trend on this one. Let's look at the weekly. All right, there's your bull market in AMD on the weekly chart. That bull trend is broken. But we had a sell signal right there on first of the year, January 18th, basically. And it's downtrending ever since. Don't expect that to change. Sell the rips. That's what I look for. Big resistance right there at 100. All right, we already failed once. Failed once. You know, I don't know. I would. So 100 is definitely big resistance. Until you take that out, that is resistance. And then let's see if we got some sort of a downtrend we can mark out. And then if we break 100, which it is possible, then we probably get checked at this downtrend line and the 200. Okay, those are the two key levels of resistance. Anything above that would be pretty bullish, and we, you know, could rally a lot more. But I doubt it. I think we already hit the 100 here, so we could do this, and then, you know, so that's where I'd want to short right in there. All right, and that's, you know, I don't know when we hit the trend line, so it changes every day, but all right, and look for divergence too. That's always helpful. Okay, guys, I'm just scrolling through, see what we got going on. CELH, what is that one? CELH. This is a defensive. They probably pay a dividend. No, they don't. Okay, well, let's see here. Non-alcoholic, is that what it is? Non-alcohol? Some sort of a beverage. Still a consumer staple, pretty much, I'm sure. Well, I guess a bear trend, it's not my favorite for a short. It's not going to move a lot. It's probably a lot like AT&T, but it's broken trend. It's downtrending. Yeah, we'll just go with that and see it kind of broke above and then failed and closed right there. Let's just go with that for now. Bullish divergence, though, you definitely had that. We could break. I would say we get checked at the 200 if it breaks. Not my favorite, but that's what I got on that one. Roku, probably going to rally here, but let's look. This one's been building bullish divergence in the RSI for a while. And in the RSI, and then the PPO didn't have it, but we got it now right there. So bullish divergence, both momentum indicators. Let's see if we can mark this trend line out and change it. It's a little changed on this a little bit. There it is. All right, no buy signal on this, but no buy signal, but maybe pending. All right, bullish falling wedge pattern. Bullish falling wedge, broke to the downside a little bit, but again, we got that bullish divergence. So, you know, you know, if you have bullish divergence and you're seeing breakdowns, it's oftentimes going to be a fake out move. So look for the breakout of the wedge. If you get the breakout of the wedge, the major target of this wedge is really, it's about like there. You know, and I would say there. Right about there, you know. Target 139.20 on that one. Could be a lot higher, of course, but for now, we'll just target that. If you get the breakout, 30% rally. That'd be a nice bear market rally, 30%. So that's what I'd be looking for. And who knows? We could have another leg down and then rep break. Could be a bigger rally. SLV. Well, SLV is very similar to gold, most likely. Very impulsive selling for sure. Look, we tried to hold this trend line, but they gave it up. So it's kind of a bear flag. All right, so here's likely where SLV. See this thin zone? It's going to take out this thin zone right in here. See this? We took out support at 20.44. That was good support, so not super encouraging that you take that out. So gonna go fill these gaps, I suspect. 1860, which should be where it probably has a turnaround. All right, that's what I would say for right now. Silver's volatile, you know, it is. Doesn't look good yet, but let's see how we do at this 1860. Okay. Hey, Kobe, thanks. I appreciate that. Hopefully you're finding value out of the videos. I'm trying to point out the trade ideas. I try to give them to you before they show up. I already covered bros, so go back to the video and rewatch it. All right, I'm just scanning some of these. CNK. Guys, I'm going to run for about 10 more minutes, and then I got to get going. Bear market. I don't see any change from this bear market, all right? Downtrend, bear market, you're rallying up to resistance and getting rejected. Yeah, you could hit the 200. You might do another back test, but bigger picture bear market. So I would just treat it as such. Sell the rips. You know, you got resistance, short-term resistance right in here. Right. Don't wait for the exact penny. The 200's right there. Resistance here. If you break above, you're going to backtest resistance there. It shouldn't go much beyond that. So I'd be looking to, if I had to take a position, I'd want to short this thing at these resistance levels. I wouldn't want to go long. You're in a bigger bear market, so and we're already kind of halfway there, getting close to resistance. Yeah, Bitcoin's wrecked, guys. It's again, the speculative lifeblood is coming out of this market. So you just look at things like GME. Again, I know people that bought this. I have some college buddies that I go camping with every year, or try to, and they were all loaded up and buying it. Not loaded up, but what they had, and buying it all through here. And this is where everybody bought it. The masses buy bubbles. The masses buy at the top of the bubbles. Most people lose money in a bubble, and the early adopters are the one who make all the money. Very similar to Bitcoin. And that's why you hear all kinds of people pumping Bitcoin on media. They're buying it. You look at like 40 or 50% of people have lost money in Bitcoin. It's the early people that are just cashing in, and that's why my trading style, I try to get you in on the early trades. But Bitcoin, look, you got resistance here at 131 in the. Oh, sorry guys, I'm covering something completely different. All right, so there's your resistance. I just moved the line, but you see how I already had it marked out, and sure enough, look at where we stopped. Right on my line. All right, so support 24,730. There's a gap right there. I think that's why I have that level. Oh, and look, we actually just hit it. So, we could rally up to this 42 area. We got another level to watch now, which is this gap. Right there. That's probably the end of the rally, is 34,725, and then down you go. This is your former peak, so there will obviously be a level there. It's about, what, 14,320? A little bit of support here at about 17,500 or so. I think lower. All right. I already covered XLRE. Leo, did I already cover one from you? I'm trying to get through these. I want to make sure we have time. So I'm going to have to skip a couple. I'm sorry, but, you know, next time if you show up a little early and throw your comment in at the top, I get to the, you know, I just start at the top. So I'm just going to try to find some ones that look interesting. Sony, huh? I don't know. Sony's not heavily traded, I don't think. I guess it's got liquidity. Bear market rally is what it looks like, guys. Look for this gap to fill. Gap entry. Gap fill. And we'll go, you know, right about there. That's about as far as I'd be willing to give it. You know, you could hit the 200 and get rejected, but I wouldn't get, you know, so probably anywhere from 94.50 up to 98. I wouldn't want to give it too much more room. I would be taking profit at least, you know, at gap fill or gap entry, or as we approach it, I'd take some profit. You could maybe let a little more ride for a little more juice, but again, you would have milked most of the juice out of that. 20%, 18%. If you can't short, well, here's the thing, guys. You know, to short, you can go long on the short ETFs. There's leverage ETFs. Again, those leverage ETFs have decay, so they're not buy and holds. If you're new and you're thinking you're going to catch a bear market by going long a leveraged ETF and you're going to make triple the gains of a bear market, you're wrong, okay? Because the thing is that those leverage ETFs have to roll the options and the futures that they do to get the leverage. So even if you catch the bear market, you'll probably end up losing money or not making nearly as much as you think because of the decay that takes place over the long term. Those leverage ETFs are good for a short term. So if you catch a trend trade or a swing trade that lasts, you know, weeks, months, you know, not much beyond that, then yeah, you can make a lot more and get the leverage helps you. But if you can't short and you're trying to short a bear market by going long a leveraged ETF, you're misplaced. It's not gonna work out. So you need to look for other opportunities. At a minimum, take the ones that are not leveraged. Okay, you'd want to look at the ones that don't have any leverage, so you wouldn't have that decay. Or you just need to, you know, like I sell short. So in order to sell stock short, you need to have a margin account, and you need to have, you know, you're pretty much a pattern day trader. You get classified as that, but that's no big deal. But you have to have $25,000 in your account. That's an SEC regulation. And then what I do is instead of hitting buy on a stock, I hit sell. I pick the amount of shares I want to short. I hit sell. It gives me a short position, and to close out the position, I buy the shares back, and it clears them out. It's all done through the mechanics of your broker. But I sell short. And then options, obviously you can buy puts, but those have the time element, and I don't trade based on time element. You know, mine is all based on just direction. So if I catch a trade right and we're at resistance, I think we're going to get rejected, and you guys, you know, you like it, you know, and you're doing options, you can make a killing, but it's just not my thing. So I can't give you advice on any of that. All right, I got to move along because I'm getting down to the bottom of the list and I want to get through it. So, DVN guys, I'm done. I'm let that one go. I'm just kind of not seeing it. You know, I'm not seeing the oil trade short yet. You know, I think we get it. Like I would just watch XLE to be honest. But the thing is, the buyers that we broke trend and they back test, we back test the buyers. Now we got a secondary trend line, so you almost have to mark that out and look for a break of that. You know, something like that. All right, so if that breaks, then we should go down. But until then, I just don't see the oil short yet. I think we're gonna get the downside in oil, but you gotta wait for these breaks. And that goes with DVN. Disney. Bear market. All right, bear market, bear trend, really since 2021. This thing topped March 2021, and it's been in a bear trend ever since. You didn't know it. A lot of people didn't know it, you know, but it has. They know it now, obviously. Now it's too late. So here's the possible trend line. And I think maybe we get a rally up to there. So that's what I'd look for. Looking at the hourly chart here. You're right. Yeah. So I would wait. You get a gap up. You got this downward thing going on. You've got bullish divergence on the hourly. You get a gap up. It's probably a buy signal, and you're going to probably rally. Possibly up to this 137-ish area. Got some resistance along the way here. And here. And that's it. So levels to watch, 116.50, 126.50. And then this trend line, wherever that. The trend line's not well defined because I only have 2 data points. So I can't call that a trend line. I wouldn't even hold out for the trend line because I just don't have enough to call that a trend line. I would just go off these levels, 116.50 and 126.50. Don't wait for the exact penny either. Don't be greedy. All right, guys. I'm going to jump down to the bottom and work my way up just to see where we go. ABBV, I'll do that one since I have talked about that in my videos. Looks like it's bear flagging. I've got it marked out here. That's what this is. But as far as I can tell, this looks like a bear flag. All right, so we go like this. There's your flagpole. And, you know, I think this is going to go down. What I would say, though, is to wait. Like, I'm not in this right now because I just took profit once we hit that first profit target. But I would wait for, like, a break of this. Let's see here. Yeah. It's more like, it's like there. Wait for a break of this. A breakdown of this on the hourly should set us up for a move, for a continuation of the bear flag. And target right now is 121.80. You got the 200, so you'll probably battle it out at the 200 a little bit and then ultimately give way and go to that target. And then you've got some support also right here. If you break the bear flag, you're probably going to make a swift move down, 138.50, and then continue down, battle it out with the 200, finally pop down, fulfill the bear target, and hold support at 121.70. That's decent support, so that's what I have on that one. And you'll want to watch XLV. XLV is still in a bullish trend. This is going all the way back to 2011, probably further, 2009. Bull trend in healthcare stocks, XLV. But negative divergence is building on the RSI, and it's there on the PPO. And so I'm looking for a break of the trend. All right. So for me, I need to see this. This is a big level right here, 124.65. So let's say we just hit this, we break, we'll probably hold and bounce and then break, all right? Depending on when you break this trend line, you could take it down to this 124.65, but you're probably gonna get a bounce there. So you might wanna just wait until you take out 124.65 if we break soon. If it breaks way up here, then sure, you could trade it down to the first level of support, all right? And then I'd wait for that break. So I'd short it, depending, short it, if you're up here or, anywhere here. If you break soon, you got big support right there. So we got to see that get taken out. All right, so you short it down to there, 124.50. Not here. I don't want to short it now because we're still above support. So look, if it goes here, I don't want to short it. All right, we're at big support. If we get a gap down from that level, okay, that's the sell signal. Otherwise, you bounce, and maybe we just do this. And then if you break the trend line, okay, you can short it here down to here, and then you would hold and probably get a bounce. And then, so you could cover. And then once you break that, maybe you bounce and then come down. Once you break that, that's the big sell signal, the bear market sell signal. Until then, that's it. Yeah, take my course, guys. It's, I have, I talk about it, but, several people in this chat that have taken it, I think they're finding value out of it because they're recommending it. So I do appreciate that. It's always to get positive recommendations. All right, I'm going to wrap up with Tesla, and I got to get going. I've gone for about an hour and 15 minutes. Tesla. Huh. Bounce to resistance, guys. So, we'll see. It's definitely at resistance there at 779.80. You got some bullish divergence there in the RSI. It's not really there in the PPO. So that might be it. That might be the end of the bounce for Tesla. You see that level right there, 782, resistance, then it was support, kind of support in here. We took it out with a sell signal and a breakdown, coming in for a back test, and that's resistance until I see that go. This is where you'd want to short at. So kind of conflicts a little bit with the bear market rally, but again, I don't know how far the bear market rally is going to go. I think we're going to go higher. So maybe Tesla rallies up and hits the 200 again. I wouldn't go past the 200 on Tesla. I'd want to short right in there if I was going to get it for a rejection. And again, bigger picture, 550-ish is my next major target. Hey, thanks, Dallas. I appreciate that. All right, guys. Well, that's all I got. So I'll catch you guys on Monday. Good luck. All right.